Hello, I'm Sudarshana Starshine Star. Thank you for being here with me today. It is a beautiful Tuesday. It is July 30th, and it's still 2024. This is going to be part 4 of my series called The Controllers, and a subtitle of this audio clip will be The Reveal of a Terrible History. And that's all I can really say on it because I want to put this on my TikTok. My TikTok is called Mahakali Yeshua 9. The username on TikTok is at Starshine Star 909. I'm also going to put this on my YouTube channel, which is called It's the Dazzling of the Light. Or you can just go to YouTube and type in at Sudarshana Starshine Star to be able to access this audio clip, as well as I have over 100 audios and videos on my YouTube channel too, and it's pretty good. I think you'll enjoy checking it out. So I like to begin all of my clips with the 3 opening prayers. They're in Sanskrit and Telugu, and this is to bless and protect and purify and uplift you, me, and this clip. It's going to be the Guru Mantra, the Ganesha Mantra, and the Gayatri Mantra. Om, Om, Om. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahmam, Tasmahi Sri Guruvena Namaha. Om Suklam Bharataram Vishnum Sishivarnam Chatubhujam Prasanavaranam Dhyaye Sarva Vigno Prashantaye. Om Bhur Bhuva Suvaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Naha Prachodayat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. All right, I'm going to have to speak a little rapidly on this clip because I do want to be able to put it up on my TikTok. And what this is, and it's really vital that everyone know this secret history, because if you listen to my other clips on my YouTube or TikTok, you'll have known some of the secret, hidden history of this earth realm, of this world that I've been divulging. And this is an important branch to also understand about and to know about, because ignorance is not bliss. So I might have to break this one up into 2 parts, but I'm going to do my best to accomplish it now. So this is the secret history of the Jesuits. And this is a little foreword or a note to a book called The Secret History of the Jesuits that was written by Edmund Paris, and I believe it was first published in 1975, but I'm also looking at an English edition by Chick Publication that came out in 1983. So Dr. Alberto Rivera, who is an ex-Jesuit priest who was trained at the Vatican directly, and was introduced and briefed on all the Jesuit history, and also received the extreme indoctrination of the Jesuit oath, which is really foul, and I will be reading that, and you will need to have a little bit of patience as I read through it. Don't think, oh, this is boring, because when you hear towards the end what it really says, it's very shocking, very shocking. But we all need to know this. We all need to be able to stop mistaking angels for demons and demons for angels, and to realize what has been ruling this earth realm for a very long time. And we're coming out of its shadow now in this wonderful time of humanity, in the apocalypse time, which means the great unveiling. It's coming from the Greek. It's the truth times, and it's thumbs up for humanity. But that doesn't mean it's not a hard struggle and a very difficult sacred war that we're all engaged in a war on many fronts, which I've spoken about in my other clips. I'm not going to repeat that now. So the secret history of the Jesuits, and this is the Jesuits are really the secret army, the secret militia of the papacy, out of the Vatican. So here's Dr. Alberto Rivera talking. He said, As you read the secret history of the Jesuits, you will see there is a parallel between the religious and political sectors. The author, Mr. Edmund Paris, reveals the penetration and infiltration of the Jesuits into the governments and nations of the world to manipulate the course of history by setting up dictatorships and weakening democracies such as the United States of America by paving the way for social, political, moral, military, educational, and religious anarchy. The man, Edmund Paris. In the prophetical works of the Book of Revelation, Edmund Paris became a martyr for Jesus. In exposing such a conspiracy, he put his life at stake for truth of the prophetical signs to be known. Edmund Paris never knew me, but I knew him without meeting him personally, when I, with other Jesuits, under the extreme oath and induction, was being briefed in the names of institutions and individuals in Europe who were dangerous to the goals of the Roman Catholic institution. His name was given to us. The Edmund Paris works on Roman Catholicism brought about the pledge on the part of the Jesuits to, number 1, destroy him, number 2, destroy his reputation, including his family, and 3, destroy his work. And even now these great works of Edmund Paris are being tampered with, but we are praying that God will continue to preserve them when they are most needed for the salvation of the Roman Catholic people. And here's more of Dr. Rivera's introduction. The most dangerous of men are those who appear very religious, especially when they are organized and in a position of authority. They have the deep respect of the people who are ignorant of their ungodly push for power behind the scenes. These religious men who pretend to love God will resort to murder, incite revolutions, and wars if necessary to help their cause. They are crafty, intelligent, smooth, religious politicians who live in a shadowy world of secrets, intrigue, and phony holiness. This pattern, seen in The Secret History of the Jesuits, spiritually speaking, can be seen in the scribes, Pharisees, and Sadducees at the time of Jesus Christ. The same evil spirit directed the Roman emperors to issue the 10 murderous decrees to persecute the early Christian church. The early, quote, fathers, unquote, observed most of the ancient Babylonian system, plus Jewish theology and Greek philosophy. They all perverted most of the teachings of Christ and his apostles. They paved the way for the Roman Catholic machine that was to come into existence. Piously, they attacked, perverted, added to, and took away from the Bible. This religious Antichrist spirit working through them is seen again when Ignatius de Loyola created the Jesuits to secretly accomplish 2 major goals for the Roman Catholic institution. Number 1, universal political power, and number 2, a universal church in fulfillment of the prophecies of Revelation 6, 13, 17, and 18. By the time Ignatius de Loyola arrived on the scene, the Protestant Reformation had seriously damaged the Roman Catholic system. Ignatius de Loyola came to the conclusion that the only way his, quote, church, end quote, could survive was by enforcing the canons and doctrines on the temporal power of the Pope in the Roman Catholic institution, not just by destroying the physical life of the people alone, as the Dominican priests were doing through the Inquisition, but by the infiltration and penetration into every sector of life. Protestantism must be conquered and used for the benefit of the popes. That was Ignatius de Loyola's personal proposal, among others, to Pope Paul III. Jesuits immediately went to work secretly infiltrating all the Protestant groups, including their families, places of work, hospitals, schools, colleges, etc. Today, Jesuits have almost completed their mission. And I'm just describing myself, the book, The Secret History of the Jesuits by Edmund Paris that I described, that was published in 1983. It has a red cover on it, and on it has an image of a crucifix atop of a NASA swastika. And in the reviews or statements of this book, it's quoted, it says, the author exposes the Vatican's involvement in world politics, intrigues, and the fomenting of wars throughout history. It appears beyond any doubt that the Roman Catholic institution is not a Christian church and never was. Paris shows that Rome is responsible for the two great world wars. So I was able to choose. My parents, my father was kind of Protestant, but really didn't adhere to anything. And my mother was Catholic. And so they decided to let myself and my siblings choose our religion. So at the age of 11, after receiving catechism, I chose to be baptized in the Roman Catholic Church. And I really loved it. I was a very religious and spiritual kid. And I would go to church. At the time that I was baptized, I was in 6th grade in a Catholic school. And I would go to church of my own volition, go to chapel pretty much every morning before school started. And of course, every Sunday, and sometimes twice on Sunday. I loved church. I loved Jesus. I loved Mary. I loved everything. But I was aware, even at that age, when I was in catechism and I had asked my nun, Sister Loretta, some questions, specifically about outside of our school playground, which was fenced. There was an old guy in a raincoat who was naked underneath this trench coat and who would try to expose himself to us when we were playing at recess. And I don't know how I knew, but I just knew, what he was up to, what his goals were. And the school was not keeping him away. He would stand there drooling at us for our 2 recess periods that we had every day. So I had asked in catechism before I was baptized of Sister Loretta. I'd raised my hand and said, Sister, because at that time when I was 11, I began my menstruation. I had my period, and I knew I could be impregnated. So I asked Sister Loretta, if that man I didn't know his name, but she knew who he was. I said, in the raincoat that watches us on the playground, if he perchance caught me walking home from school or something and attacked me and I became pregnant, if I decided not to have that baby, would I go to hell? And she was like, she had an Irish accent. Oh, absolutely, my child. She said unequivocally that I would burn in hell forever. And I didn't argue with her. My inner knowledge, my inner being knew that wasn't true. So I politely said, all right, thank you. But I knew that was bollocks. I knew that was malarkey. So I could recognize a few things that I knew that just weren't true, but I just ignored it. Like when the priest would give the sermons and go off on these tangents about us boiling in hell and all kinds of stuff, I would just divert myself by staring at Jesus on the cross, on the altar, or the beautiful statue of Mother Mary, and I would just put myself in a bliss, and I wouldn't pay attention to that. I would just wait till we would get up and say our prayers and singing and rejoice and everything. And so I'm saying that because I am not someone who you would say, oh, you just hate the Roman Catholic Church. No, I loved it so much. I was in a blissful 15-year-old on the steps of the Vatican holding my special crystal amber rosary I purchased from the Vatican store and listening to the Pope give his address, and I had tears in my eyes of bliss that I was on the Vatican steps, in Rome with the beautiful Pope, and all that stuff. So I am someone that really loved all of that. But now I know I have known the truth for a very long time about that. I haven't been a practicing Roman Catholic for a very long time, but I want to read this to you guys. I might have to make it in 2 parts, but I'm going to speak kind of rapidly. So just excuse me. Robert Ware, W-R-E, forged the so-called Extreme Oath of the Jesuits in 1689 and published it in his book, Foxes and Firebrands. Now, the Jesuits are called the Society of Jesus, as crazy as that is. They're Regimini Militanis Ecclesiae, and it was founded by St. Ignatius Loyola, St. Ignatius Loyola on September 27th in 1540. So the Jesuit Extreme Oath of Induction, this is what I'm going to read to you. The following is the Jesuit Extreme Oath of Induction given to high-ranking Jesuits only. This oath is taken from the book Subterranean Rome by Carlos Didier, translated from the French and published in New York in 1843. When a Jesuit of the minor rank is to be elevated to command, he is conducted into the chapel of the Covenant of the Order, where there are only 3 others present, the principal or superior standing in front of the altar. On either side stands a monk, one of whom holds a yellow banner one of whom holds a banner of yellow and white, which are the papal colors, and the other a black banner with a dagger and red cross above a skull and crossbones, with the word INRI, and below the words Iustum Necar Regis Impious, the meaning of which is, it is just to exterminate or annihilate impious or heretical kings, governments, or rulers. Upon the floor is a red cross, at which the postulant or candidate kneels. The superior hands him a small black crucifix, which he takes in his left hand and presses to his heart, and the superior at the same time presents to him a dagger, which he grasps by the blade and holds the point against his heart. The superior still holding it by the hilt, and thus addresses the postulant. The superior: My son, heretofore you have been taught to act the dissembler among Roman Catholics, to be Roman Catholic, and to be a spy even among your own brethren, to believe no man, to trust no man among the reformers, to be a reformer, among the Huguenots, to be a Huguenot, among the Calvinists, to be a Calvinist, among other Protestants generally, to be a Protestant, and obtaining their confidence, to seek even to preach from their pulpits, and to denounce with all the vehemence in your nature our holy religion and the Pope, and even to descend so low as to become a Jew among Jews, that you might be enabled to gather all information for the benefit of your order as a faithful soldier of the Pope. You have been taught to insidiously plant the seeds of jealousy and hatred between communities, provinces, and states that were at peace, and incite them to deeds of blood, involving them in war with each other, and to create revolutions and civil wars in countries that were independent and prosperous, cultivating the arts and the sciences and enjoying the blessings of peace. To take sides with the combatants and to act secretly with your brothers, Jesuit, who might be engaged on the other side, but openly opposed to that with which you might be connected, only that the Church might be the gainer in the end, in the conditions fixed in the treaties for peace, and that the end justifies the means. You have been taught your duty as a spy to gather all statistics, facts, and information in your power from every source, to ingratiate yourself into the confidence of the family circle of Protestants and heretics of every class and character, as well as that of the merchant, the banker, the lawyer, and among schools and universities, in parliaments and legislatures, and the judiciaries and councils of state, and to be all things to all men for the Pope's sake, whose servants we are unto death. You have received all your instructions heretofore as a novice, a neophyte, and have served as a coadjutor, confessor, and priest, but you have not yet been invested with all that is necessary to command in the army of Loyola in the service of the Pope. You must serve the proper time as the instrument and executioner, as directed by your superiors, for none can command here who has not consecrated his labors with the blood of the heretic. For without the shedding of blood, no man can be saved. Therefore, to fit yourself for your work and make your own salvation sure, you will, in addition to your former path of obedience to your order and allegiance to the Pope, repeat after me the extreme oath of the Jesuits. I, state your name, now in the presence of Almighty God, the Blessed Virgin Mary, Blessed Michael the Archangel, the Blessed St. John the Baptist, and Holy Apostles, St. Peter and St. Paul, and all the saints and sacred hosts of heaven, and to you, my ghostly father, the Superior General of the Society of Jesus, founded by St. Ignatius Loyola in the pontificate of Paul III, and continued to the present, do by the womb of the Virgin, the matrix of God, and the rod of Jesus Christ, declare and swear that His Holiness the Pope is Christ's vice-regent, and is the true and only head of the Catholic or universal Church throughout the earth, and that by virtue of the keys of binding and loosing, given to His Holiness by my Savior Jesus Christ, He hath power to depose heretical kings, princes, states, commonwealth, and governments, all being illegal without His sacred confirmation, and that they may safely be destroyed. Therefore, to the utmost of my power, I shall and will defend the doctrine of His Holiness, right and custom against all usurpers of the heretical or Protestant authority whatsoever, especially the Lutheran of Germany, Holland, Denmark, Sweden, Norway, and the now pretended authority in churches of England and Scotland, and branches of the same now established in Ireland, and on the continent of America and elsewhere, and all adherents in regard that they be usurped and heretical, opposing the sacred Mother Church of Rome. I do now renounce and disown any allegiance as due to any heretical king, prince, or state, named Protestants or liberals, or obedience to any of the laws, magistrates, or officers. I do further declare that the doctrine of the churches of England and Scotland, of the Calvinists, Huguenots, and others of the name Protestant or liberals to be damnable, and that they themselves damned, who will not forsake the same. I do further declare that I will help, assist, and advise all or any of His Holiness's agents in any place, wherever I may be, in Switzerland, Germany, Holland, Denmark, Sweden, Norway, England, Ireland, or America, or in any other heretical Protestants or liberals' doctrines, and to destroy all their pretended powers, regal or otherwise. I do further promise and declare that notwithstanding I am dispensed with to assume any religion heretical for the propaganda of the Mother Church's interest, to keep secret and private all her agents' counsels from time to time, as they many entrust me, and not to divulge directly or indirectly by word, writing, or circumstance whatsoever, but to execute all that shall be proposed, given in charge or discovered unto me by you, my ghostly father, or any of the sacred covenant. I do further promise and declare that I will have no opinion or will of my own, or any mental reservation whatsoever, when even as a corpse or cadaver, unhesitatingly obey each and every command that I may receive from my superiors in the militia of the Pope and of Jesus Christ, that I may go to any part of the world, whithersoever that I may be sent, to the frozen regions of the north, the burning sands of the deserts of Africa, or the jungles of India, to the centers of civilization of Europe, or to the wild haunts of the submissive in all things whatsoever communicated to me. I further promise and declare that I will, when opportunity present, make and wage relentless war, secretly or openly, against all heretics, Protestants, and liberals, as I am directed to do, to extirpate and exterminate them from the face of the whole earth, and that I will spare neither age, sex, or condition, and that I will hang, waste, boil, flay, strangle, and bury alive these infamous heretics, rip up the stomachs and wombs of their women, and crush their infants' heads against the walls, in order to annihilate forever their execrable race. That when the same cannot be done openly, I will secretly use the poisoned cup, the strangulating cord, the steel of the poniard, or the leaden bullet, regardless of the honor, rank, dignity, or authority of the person or persons, whatever may be their condition in life, either public or private, as I at any time may be directed so to do by my agent of the Pope, or superior of the Brotherhood of the Holy Father of the Society of Jesus, in confirmation of which I hereby dedicate my life, my soul, and all my corporeal powers, and with this dagger with which I now receive, I will subscribe my name written in my own blood, in testimony thereof. And should I prove false or weaken in my determination, may my brethren and my fellow soldiers of the militia of the Pope cut off my hands and my feet, and my throat from ear to ear, my belly opened, and sulfur burned therein, with all the punishment that can be inflicted upon me on earth, and my soul be tortured by demons in an eternal hell forever. All of which I, state your name, do swear by the blessed Trinity and blessed sacraments, which I am now to receive, to perform, and on my part to keep inviolable, and do call all the heavenly and glorious hosts of heaven to witness the blessed sacrament of the Eucharist, and witness the same further with my own name written, and with the point of this dagger in my own blood sealed in the face of this holy covenant. He then receives the wafer from the superior and writes his name with the point of his dagger dipped in his own blood, taken from his own heart. So what follows after that are just some instructions, kind of like symbols, arm movements of between two postulants. It's too long for me to go into here, as well as a kind of a question and answer from the superior to the postulant. But I think you've got the real understanding of what this is all about. And it's so hideous that they call upon God and say it's holy, and Jesus and Mary. It's so ridiculous. Anyway, this Jesuit oath of induction is also recorded in the Congressional Record of the United States Code, House Bill 1523, contested election case of Eugene C. It looks like Bonnable or Bonowen. I can't even read my own writing. Against Thomas S. Butler on February 15th, 1913, PP 3215-3216. So it's not a secret, but there you go. Okay, I have to end this. I hope I can still put this on my TikTok. Please like, share, hit the notification bell, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're watching this on YouTube, or heart this if you're on my TikTok, because I have been very much shadow banned. And when you do these kind of things, you really help me, and I really appreciate you. So thank you so much. I'm going to close with a closing prayer, which is in Sanskrit and Telugu, and what I'm saying is, God bless all beings in all worlds. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Yes, peace, peace, peace. God bless you and yours. I'm sending huge love and hugs to you and yours, and I'm wishing you all the best. I will see you when I see you, and bye-bye for now.